Alrighty guys, we are going to do an update and I want to go deep into detail on the QQQ. I like to do it from my phone, so hopefully it doesn't bother you too much. But here's what we're going to look at. Oh no, hang on. This happens sometimes. Okay. So I want to look at right. Come on. Okay. Oh, that's a little more than I wanted right here. Okay. So we're going to see a couple things here. First, we're going to see, like, you guys got to understand, the algo knows what it's going to do a week before it does it, okay? Like, these aren't just random patterns of people buying and selling. Like, the actual money that's moving the market is completely the Federal Reserve. And so, if you look, it bounces up from here, and this is right before it's about to hit its all-time 52-week low. It does a massive bounce up. It starts to come down, a big dip in a day, and then it runs back up, and then it crashes, and it has a middle day where it trades sideways, and then it crashes down again. Okay? So first off, where it hit its middle, like sideways, like we'll come back to that. But if we look at this guy, as soon as it comes back up, like after a big crash, it has a couple rebounds and then like just sideways rebounds, and then it creates a W after the first dip. And that W hits a high of the price that it was hitting earlier. Now from that W, it took another dip after it made the W, and when we hit this dip, it had another little thing at the midpoint, and then it dipped again. Now we created an even bigger W. Well, guess what happened? We had a bigger dip. This time, instead of at the midpoint, they did the sideways day almost at the bottom. So a lot of people were probably holding their puts for a lot more of a dip, and it never came, and they lost money. Anyways, it goes a W again, even bigger W, and then we have our biggest dip to the 52-week low. Then we had like a month and a half long rally. And then, so let's come back out. Let's erase this. Now, what did we get? We got a dip. We got a dip right here. And in this dip, if we go and we look at it, I'm going to have to come in a little bit closer, I think. But if you compare this dip right here that you see, oh, it's because it's this dip right here. So we got the one up start, just like we got the one up start, and then we got the sideways day, just like we got the sideways day. And then it comes down, and it comes all the way up to 310, and then it comes down, and now we're expecting it to finish the W. Now, a couple things that I want to show that you'll need to think about if you're not, like, because I mean, I'll post updates as soon as I buy and sell. The fastest way you're going to get my update of when I buy and sell is on my Twitter, which is GPMULN. And otherwise, like, I'll make updates on YouTube when I buy and sell. But yeah, I want to show you what you need to think about if you're just trading this on your own, or if you want to try to prepare and you want to maybe trade a lot of money on the big swings and keep a little bit of money and day trade on the bounces that we see. So what I want to go over real quick is, if we look at this W, this first W at the top, so where it's at 350, so the very right of my screen, if you look at this first W, when it came down on the second leg, it went lower than the beginning of where the W started. I'm going to screenshot this and show you. So basically, this part right here where it hit this low wasn't as low as this part right here. This part was lower. So if we go look at the next W, So that's the first W at the left. Now if we look at the second W, you'll see that the second bottom was even lower than the first bottom. If we look at the third W, you'll see that the first bottom's not as low as the second bottom. Well, if we come here right now, we're starting the W, and if we look, we've come down lower than where we were before. So right now, we're about to bounce way up. And if we come back to the W's, let's look at where the W peaks at. So right on the first W at the very left of my screen, we'll see that the W peaks at almost the exact same height as it did in the middle. On the second W, we'll see that the top of the W hits an even bigger height than the middle of the W. And then at the third of the W, so the W is right here if you're not seeing it. This is the third W. And basically we usually count it from right here. So this is the crash, and then this is the bottom of the W, and it goes like this. And so we can see that this is coming way higher than this. And when I say way higher, I mean between 308. So this hit 308, this hit 315. And so if we look at this guy, he is fully prepared to come up to above 312, where the top of the middle of the W is at right now, which is at the very left of my screen. So this guy right there, 312, looks like 311. So we're going above 311, probably 314, 15, up to 320 really. If we're gonna, this could be the W right here. It could legit look like that. And so we could hit 320. I'm right now, so I got 300 strikes that expire on Wednesday, and I got 305 strikes that expire September 26th, Monday. And I'm trying to cash out the 300 strikes around 310, and the 305 strikes around 315, and then I'm going to bet it all on the downside. Now, here's something that you got to think about, and so I'm still working out exactly what days to expire. Like some of it, I'm going to do 2 weeks to expire, because if we look at these W's, so the first W at the left of my screen, very top left of my screen, you'll see that it went up, it went down, up, straight down. The second W, you will see the same thing. And then on the third W, so right here, we see that they added a week of volatility before the dip after the W. And so we have to worry about this guy right here. And you got to make sure you have enough theta to wait out 7 days of bullcrap before they give us our dip. Again, I plan on playing this several different ways, and I just suggest you follow my updates. Last thing that we'll look at is in this W. So we see in this W right here, we came down, and then we came down even more, and then we came up, and then we came down, and then we had our rally. And so that was all, right now, you could argue that we are right. Let me double check. I want to make sure I got this right. So if we look at this guy right here, we've gone up and then down again. So 3 days of volatility. So if we come right here, this is 1 day, this is 2 days, and then on the third day it went up. So we've actually had an extra dip day right here. So this up could be real huge, like I'm expecting. And then the question is do we go straight down, or do we get this 4 or 5 days of garbage? Yeah, I hope that answers all your questions so far of what I'm thinking, what you should be thinking about. If you go on your computer and you drop all these graphs, you can do it on the SPY, you can do it on any of the indexes. It works. and you'll be able to set up your own plan, how you're going to trade it. Make sure that you make at least, man, everyone should be making at least 20 to 50x their money, depending on when, like, if this thing comes from here, if this guy right here does exactly what I'm gonna say, what I'm saying, and it goes all the way down from here, and it runs all the way up to there, if you see this kind of price action confirming everything that I'm telling you, like, I've already made money on this guy, on this guy, on this guy, on this guy, and on this guy. I've made money on all of these guys so far. And if this one happens right here, and you don't have like as much money as you can sleep well at night invested in a downfall, and give yourself probably, like, again, we could have that bullcrap week, and if we have that, like, you got to make sure you have 2 or 3 weeks of theta. But 2 or 3 weeks of theta, 10% out of the money options, like, if it drops 10%, you're going to make probably at least 700% on your money. And then if it drops another 5% past your 10%, you'll be at well over 1,000% your money. And I think we're going down 15% from this W. I just don't know about this guy yet. And so you got to wait for my updates to see. Like, we're just going to watch the market, compare it to the other Ws, and see how we feel. Like, all we can do is play our best. All right, people. Good luck.